Before this video begins, I just wanted to shout out Harrison. Harrison is a young fan from Boston, and he wrote to me telling me that he loves the trains in Boston and he loves these videos. So Harrison, this one's for you. Hi everyone, welcome to a new Trains Are Awesome video. Last year in May, Lindsay and I spent a week in Boston. After a busy season, it was the perfect opportunity to enjoy time with old friends, eat some good food, and see one of the most beautiful cities in the US. Now, I'd been to Boston before, but this most recent trip was actually my first time using the public transportation there. I have to say, as someone currently living in Chicago, it was a lot of fun getting to know a different system. No railfan's trip to Boston is complete without riding the Amtrak Downeaster and the MBTA Commuter Rail. We did both, and those videos are up on this channel, so be sure to check those out if you haven't already. If you like our content, please subscribe to Trains Are Awesome, and hit the bell icon for notifications. You can also follow us on Instagram, and we have a Patreon as well. The previous MBTA Commuter Rail video I made was about the Fairmount Line. Both in my experience as well as what I gathered from the comments, the Fairmount Line is not your typical MBTA line. This is thanks to features like its low fares and relatively high frequencies. Every 45 minutes is relatively high? Yikes. I kinda wanted to know what a more traditional commuter rail line in Boston was like. Luckily, we were presented with the perfect opportunity. It was the last day of our stay in town, and we had a morning flight out of Logan Airport. We were staying in Newton, a near suburb of Boston. The times just so happened to line up that the best way to get there was to take the Framingham Worcester Commuter Rail line and then transfer to the Silver Line at Boston South Station. So that's what we did. Newton is a city in Massachusetts that is actually made up of 13 different villages. The villages are served by many different buses, as well as the Green Line Light Rail and the Framingham Worcester Commuter Rail Line. We were taking the commuter rail from Newtonville Station, about 8 miles from Boston South Station. The Framingham Worcester line is 44 miles long, connecting Worcester with Boston South on tracks owned by the MBTA and the state of Massachusetts. These are also the tracks that Amtrak's Lakeshore Limited runs down. Of all the commuter rail lines in Boston, this one is the second busiest, but it only sees 25 round trips a day. Newtonville is located next to Interstate 90. The noise from the highway can be pretty annoying, but thankfully there is a small shelter on the platform. It may be a little crummy, but it did drown out a lot of the noise. CTA, are you taking notes? Other than that, Newtonville looks like many stations on the major US commuter rail systems. Low platforms and nothing that suggests an emphasis on safety or comfort. Even for an intermediate stop, it's just too basic and I'm not a fan. We each paid $6.50 for this trip using the MBTA M-Tickets app. Here's our train, the 6:28 a.m. train to Boston. The car we're on is part of the single-level fleet, and this one specifically was built by Bombardier between 1989 and 1990. Seating is provided in a 2x3 configuration on benches that are fairly well padded. You can store your luggage in the large overhead racks. For a more comprehensive seat review, please see my Fairmount Line video. Bag is up in the rack. Gonna enjoy the short trip to Boston South Station. The line continues to follow I-90 as we head east towards Boston.
Now arriving at Boston Landing.
Our first stop is Boston Landing. This is the newest station on the line, having opened in 2017. As someone who uses Metra from time to time, it's cool to see how the MBTA is still expanding stations and service, even if it's a slow process.
Now arriving at Lansdowne.
This will bring you right to Fenway Park for a Red Sox game. And then we stop at Back Bay. Besides serving a popular business and shopping area, Back Bay is also a major railroad interchange. Passengers can change to the Orange Line subway, multiple other commuter rail services, and the Amtrak Northeast Regional and Acela.
Stop station.
Now, up until now, I've been fairly critical of the stations and the frequencies. I think it's a just criticism because some stations towards the middle of the line are inaccessible. But there are improvements, both in the past and on the horizon. When this track was owned by CSX, delays by freight trains were common. But now that a freight yard near downtown has closed and ownership of the line has been transferred, passenger trains have been given priority. Currently, upgrades are underway at Natick Center and Worcester, with construction planned for the remaining inaccessible stations as well. I guess in my mind, the MBTA Commuter Rail just has a lot of favorable circumstances for modern updates like multiple units or electrification, more so than many other commuter rails in the US. And so it's disappointing for me that the entire network is operated using such old-fashioned technology. Welcome to Boston South Station. That trip took 20 minutes, a very expensive 20 minutes, but the MBTA Commuter Rail trains are pretty comfortable, so it was a nice ride into the city. We're going to go through the main hall here and then transfer to the Silver Line. Want to know more about this service? Check out our video about the Silver Line. And then, exactly an hour after leaving Newtonville Station, we're at our gate at Logan Airport. A great connection, if the times work for you. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to Trains Are Awesome if you enjoyed the content. Boston, we'll be back, and hopefully soon. In the meantime, we've got more content coming for you next week. So, we'll see you next time.